2 decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's Weather, live now.
Hi, everybody. As we look at 2:45 on the clock, we've got at least one tornado warning, which is going to impact the extreme southern, kind of the southeastern part of East Texas, and an additional severe thunderstorm warning, which has been activated for a couple of our immediate counties as well. So let's get in on the radar real fast and look first off at what we've got from this tornado warning. This is what kind of has brought me up to do some live stuff here this afternoon. This storm, the warning for folks in St. Augustine County and also northern sections of Sabine County. And Weather Service has been watching this storm here for a little bit. The environment that we're in this afternoon is very conducive as you move further south and east into the deep East Texas counties, and most especially over into Louisiana for tornadic development to occur. We're kind of, as we've been advertising for the last couple of days, we're kind of on the far western edge of what's going to be a very busy day, and has already been a somewhat busy day across parts of Louisiana. But as far as this particular warning is concerned, here's how the text reads. Tornado warning for central St. Augustine County and also northwestern Sabine County. That goes till 3 o'clock. They're looking at a storm capable of a tornado about 9 miles south of McCune, or let's call it 18 miles north of Ebenezer, and that's moving northeast at about 40 miles an hour. Okay, here's where the center of the storm, the most intense part of it, if there's going to be something, it's going to be in this area right here, where we're trying to point that out to you. Let me try to get some of this other stuff off the screen real fast, if I can do that. There we go. All right, so let's get in a little bit tighter on this. The center of circulation, if there's something's going to be right there near Broadus, I would say at this time. So you're talking Farm to Market 83. Highway 147, this will be south, west of Norwood, along just south, east of Townsend. A lot of smaller areas in this piece of St. Augustine County, but something that we do want to be, we definitely want to be aware of. And I haven't had anything as far as visual confirmation on this. We've just had the radar signature, and that was enough on a day like today. Kind of like what we dealt with a couple of weeks ago on the Friday, was it 3 or 4 weeks back, where we had that onslaught of severe weather and tornadoes. That environment was very primed for development to occur. Today is also very primed for that, albeit a little further to the east of us than we saw last week. So a lot of our area is going to miss out on this completely. I've got 80 degrees outside right now here in Tyler, a lot of sunshine. And we weren't able to do the dynamics up the way we did a couple weeks ago in the Tyler Longview area, but we do have, I guess, a piece of that right now potentially for the southeastern counties. So that is the tornado warning. That again includes St. Augustine and Sabine counties. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, which is also including. We'll kind of back out here just a tad. That's going to include extreme southern parts of Nacogdoches County. There's Nacogdoches on the screen. You can see that across the extreme southern part of the county, and that'll also, the polygon officially includes extreme eastern parts of Angelina County, right there along Sam Rayburn, the northern end of Sam Rayburn, where the two counties kind of meet. But the gist of all this is really over. It's really going to be something we have to deal with over St. Augustine County with that tornado warned storm. Let's take a look at this on the velocity products here real fast. We can try to make out some of this here. But not the most impressive of velocity numbers, at least at the moment, compared to some of the stuff that we saw a few weeks ago, but enough to definitely get your attention. And with the signature that we have and the dynamics that are in place and on the field today, we want to take all of that, take all of these seriously here. So again, near Broadus, getting north and east side of Broadus now, I would think. We've got, what looks like some pretty broad rotation compared to what it was here just a couple of minutes ago. So that's a good thing. The broader the rotation, the less the potential for tornadic development. The tighter the rotation, the more concern we get for something trying to form. So we'll keep an eye on those parameters as well. But back on the kind of the broader look, just to show you real fast where the storms are at and where the storms are not at. We don't have a whole lot going on, with the exception of this guy down here in the deep East Texas counties, and then there's some showers trying to get up north or west of Carthage, I guess is probably best said. But nothing Longview, nothing Tyler, nothing Jacksonville, even Nacogdoches or Lufkin for that matter. So this seems to be the only show in town, at least for the moment. Back over to the west, we've got a lot of storms trying to fire themselves up over into Louisiana, and that entire area, or most of that area, under a tornado watch. None of our counties are inside a tornado watch at this time. That all starts once you get across Toledo Bend and into the Louisiana counties. But again, the reason for me coming on here was the tornado warning that popped up for we'll call it southwestern St. Augustine County, and the track on it would take it to the northeast, and that I believe they were calling that about, let's see, that's northeast at 40 on that. So let's see what we can do here on a couple of other tools. So we'll go northeast on that, and we'll type about 40 into that. So we've got, you can see some counties there showing up on the top left-hand side of the screen. So we'll have McCune and Venable, Rosevine, White Rock. A lot of smaller communities in there. There's still obviously people, so don't let the total population number fool you there, obviously. But some of the towns that would be kind of along the center line of that track over the next 30 minutes or so, as we kind of keep this thing heading up towards the Highway 96 corridor. And but right now, interest there near Broadus and anybody who's northeast of Broadus, there's Highway 147. This will be along and just south of 147, right there near where 83 and 147 would seem to meet, and heading off to the northeast at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. So Weather Service hasn't pushed anything else out on this, at least for the moment. So we'll continue to kind of keep tabs on that. Thanks, Jennifer, and guys, for hopping on with us this afternoon. I know we've got a lot of people who are seeing plenty of sunshine and not a whole lot in the way of threatening weather. And for about the last week or so, we've been watching what looked like parameters coming together for some severe weather across our neck of the woods today, and that has kind of shifted and vacillated back to the east and back to the west and whatnot. But hey, we've had at least a good chance to give a decent amount of heads up to people on this thing for the past 5 to 7 days, and that's obviously great to be able to spread the word on it and put people in a position to be able to keep tabs on what is in fact going on. But as it stands right now, this is the only more significant storm in the area. It's a large one for sure. And we'll watch some of these guys, this little thing down here south near Hemp Hill, and another storm out ahead of it along Toledo Bend. and some showers back over towards Lufkin. These showers back over Polk County and southern Angelina County, none of which are producing anything more than some heavy rainfall, maybe a little bit of lightning in spots. Trying to see, it looks like a little bit of lightning trying to show up there south of Beckville right now. So that'd be west, kind of west-northwest of Carthage. Nothing severe in that, but some rainfall there east of Martin Creek. And then further north you go, the quieter things seem to be getting, and especially the further west you go, nothing really doing across Smith County or any of those points back to the west of us. So as it stands right now, the only warnings we have two of them. One, a severe thunderstorm warning, which officially includes Angelina County, but really the danger from that has moved off to the east of you guys, and even really now almost really out of Nacogdoches County as well. The tornado warning, really the thing that we're keeping the eye on. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. That we're watching, and that's going to be this guy hugging right through central sections of St. Augustine County. So as we're sitting at 2:56, we do have the tornado warning. That was due to what looked impressive on radar. The Weather Service went ahead and kicked that warning out. The first one in our area, severe or otherwise, of the day. We had a severe thunderstorm warning just south of our area back last hour. But nothing tornadic there. But as we get into the hours of peak heating, and we've got boundary coming through, we've got a lot of energy in the atmosphere, particularly across this deep East Texas corridor, which if you follow my updates during the morning that we do between 7 and about 7:30 over the past day or so, you've seen me talk about the fact that it looks like the better moisture, the better energy was going to be parked, or was going to be over this section of East Texas, and that seems to be where it is showing itself now, with it being 3:00 in the afternoon, maximum heating in place now. So a lot of things kind of coming together as we had thought they would by this point, and causing the storms to pop up, and the warnings consequently to come in as well. So it looks like the Weather Service is going to continue with the warning here for the time being, at least the tornado warning as far as that's concerned. So we'll hang here and watch that continue to kind of unfold. Let's see here. The tornado warning does go until 3 o'clock, so we'll see if they decide to extend that, or if they opt to go ahead and let that thing expire without a further issuance here at the top of the hour, which is about a minute and a half away, at least from where I'm at now. All right, Weather Service is going to go ahead and extend the warning until 3:45, which is not terribly surprising given the day and the players that are on the field. So they'll call this for East Central St. Augustine and Northwestern Sabine County till 3:45. Storm capable of a tornado near McCune, or about 21 miles north of Ebenezer, going northeast at 35. So quarters and a tornado possible with that. I do not see anything that indicates someone has spotted this and had a visual confirmation on it. So we're just working off of the radar signature and the like there. So that is good news. This thing does, though, have a pretty good looking tail on it. You can see kind of that appendage there on the south end of the storm. So if we have a tornado, that's where it's going to be. That's where it's going to be at. If there's something going on, that's your best location. So that's going to be south of 103 north. That's the new polygon coming in now. While you see the extra red box coming in. So the hail potential, the quarter-sized hail, that's going to be north of the center of circulation. So that'll be along 103, north of 103, up towards Ford's Corner, along 96 where 103 and 96 meet. And your potential for anything destructive from a tornadic perspective will be down here to the south, kind of on the southwest end of the storm where these things want to wrap up. Again, everything is kind of rotating around around the mesocyclone, kind of rotating in this fashion here. So this is our some folks will call it the action area of what's going to be going on with the storm. But plenty of hail and a lot of lightning in there as well, north of the center of circulation. So plenty of issues that you have to contend with there, regardless of whether there is or is not an actual tornado in place. We'll take a look at the velocity here real quick on another source. So we've got some decent broad rotation in there and some good wind regardless. There's 103. So this is south of 103. Kind of in that area we were talking about. So we will continue with the tornado warning until 3:45, and looking out further, just to try to scan the area on a day like today when you've got the potential on the table that we do. We don't want to miss anything else that has a tendency to want to try to crank up. But as it stands right now, the only real action in the area is going to be down in St. Augustine and Sabine counties. But some storms going up. See that storm there southeast of Manny. The storm's there near Natchitoches. Weather Service had a tornado warning for this storm over Natchitoches earlier. They canceled that thing a little bit early, obviously, which is good news. And then further to the north and east, you get into the more heightened areas of concern, the enhanced risk, and then eventually the moderate risk from the Storm Prediction Center, which they put out overnight. We don't do a ton of moderate risk days anyway, but this time of year for us it can be notorious and sometimes deceiving because a lot of folks don't think you can do much in the way of severe weather during the fall. They think most of that is all, and a lot of it is loaded into the spring and the months of March, April, and May, and maybe early June. But we do have our share of tornado days during the months of November and especially December across this part of the country. And so we had the one a couple of weeks ago, and we have this one here now to kind of add to that pile, but in a little bit different location from what we had back a month or so back. So let's see what else we've got. So the Weather Service is going to continue with severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to cover northern St. Augustine County, and they'll also clip southern Shelby County in this as well. So we've got that going for us now until, let me see what time that is. So Sabine, St. Augustine, Shelby County, that runs, that warning goes until 3:30. So we got about 26 minutes on that one. The reason I'm here live, though, is for the tornado warning, which will run for until I believe it's 3:45 for St. Augustine and northern Sabine counties, although this storm will probably be close to exiting hopefully prior to that, and or weaken. We would obviously hope for that, but as it stands now, still seems to be holding itself together pretty decently. Has producing a lot of lightning there, boys, south of St. Augustine. along Highway 96 and near that Highway 103, 96 intersection there. A lot of lightning and up to quarter-sized hail in there also. You get back over to McCune and into Norwood, those areas, you are in the polygon still, but looks like the most intense of this activity is going to pass just to the south of you. But folks in the Bronson area, if you got to head north on 96 out of Bronson, I would hold off on making any kind of move in that direction on 96 for about the next 20, 30 minutes. Let's let this thing get across and out of that area before you start taking that route up 96, because if anything else, you could be running into some trouble there with that. So we're at 3:06 right now. We're just kind of resetting the table. Not a lot to reset. Not like what we had a couple weeks ago when we had multiple tornado warnings going on simultaneously. This one warning for St. Augustine and northern Sabine County that runs till 3:45. This storm will pass north of Hemphill. So you guys in Hemphill and especially south of there, Pineland and the southern sections of Sabine County, not concerned so much with this particular storm as far as the tornado potential is concerned. But we do have that on the board for your northern half of Sabine County, and that will be it'll be kind of the only game in town, at least for the moment. Back southwest, there's a decent shower there along 69, heading south out of Lufkin, heading down towards Jasper or something like that. Running into some showers there, and additional showers due south of Lufkin, but nothing that looks remotely impressive at this time, so that's good. Showers back up into north and south of Carthage. Aiden asking about Shreveport. Not getting too much in Shreveport right now. Pretty quiet. I mean, considering some showers north of town and also south of town for 49, but nothing that would look to even produce any lightning, at least right now. So that's good news there. So we'll get back down here, keep things centered up on the. And this, by the way, this area, not even within a tornado watch at this time. The watch box that the Weather Service and SPC put out earlier went down to Toledo Bend, but did not include any of the Texas counties over into our area. So you haven't seen any talk about a watch for us because there hadn't been a watch for us. There'd been a sizable one to the east, and the watch that the Weather Service Storm Prediction Center put out today, what they refer to as a particularly dangerous situation, which is some wording that doesn't get thrown out a whole lot during the course of a year. We'll see a few what we call PDS watches during the year, but today was one of those days where they did kind of unfurl that banner, so to speak, and laid that out. And that kind of verbiage is good to kind of help give people a heads up as to the potential severity, kind of takes it up a notch, so to speak, as far as the verbiage goes, and hopefully the awareness of the public to let them know, hey, this is not a garden variety day with garden variety tornado potential. When the PDS watches come out, typically they are going to be expecting long track and destructive large tornado potential that day. And so, you can't help but wonder if the events of a couple of weeks ago that we had across East Texas, if that had any influence on the product that was chosen to be issued today. Never know, but with the event we had a couple weeks ago being as sizable as it was, does make you wonder if that had any impact on their choice of to go with that kind of more of an enhanced product or not. But again, regardless, the danger is there. So the warning is still there too. 3:10 right now. So we got tornado warning for northern St. Augustine, north central St. Augustine County, and northern sections of Sabine County. That runs again 3:45. This doesn't look quite as impressive as it did a couple of scans ago. Let's get over and look at some of the. It looks better on the velocity than it does on the reflectivity. Those are some stronger, some better rotational components in there now. There's 30 knots going. $30 to $60 or so, 70s there. This all kind of lines up in that same corridor now, really getting right there along Highway 96. So it looks like the better rotation is going to be right there along Highway 96. It'll be near, just south of the community of Rebecca, right there where 96 and 103 meet and cross. And it looks like a little bit better hail signature there, too, up near Ford's Corner. So we'll continue to take those tornado precautions if you are in this section of St. Augustine County, getting close to the St. Augustine-Sabine County line, honestly. So let's talk about that here just for a second. We want to be the centermost part of whatever structure that you're in. Want to be away from windows, lowest floor of the building. We don't want to be upstairs. If you got 2 stories, go to the bottom story. Okay, structure gets weaker as you move further off from the foundation. Small interior rooms or closets, those are good. Preferably closets that have a lot of clothes in it. When I used to do school visits and talk to kids, I'd tell them, find that closet that's it's got a lot of nice heavy coats in it and gives you some additional kind of cushion and some softer things around you. And those smaller rooms tend to be pretty strong as well. Bathtubs are great. Get a heavy blanket or a comforter off the bed and hop in the bathtub, put that on top of you. That'll be good for as far as coverage goes from any kind of flying debris, glass, things like that. And when you get in that bathtub, you also, of course, put some additional walls around you. And we like that. Our concern oftentimes is the not so much you getting pulled up by the tornado, but just getting hit or injured by some flying debris if the tornado in fact does come close enough to that structure to do some damage. And even if there's not a tornado, some really strong straight line winds could do damage as well. So keep that in mind. Avoid windows. That's the weakest part of any structure that you happen to be in. And we like to avoid those large open rooms. I know with school being out now, 3:13, we've got a lot of kids who may be in some areas, some gymnasiums or auditoriums, things like that, waiting on parents or buses to pick them up. We don't like those large rooms. We want to keep you out of those and into some smaller ones where you don't have those large spans of ceiling that could potentially give way and just not as strong as the smaller interior rooms might be. Also, keep in mind that vehicles are not ever a good option unless you're driving away from a storm. But I know a lot of folks forget that sometimes. You want to evacuate mobile homes if you're in the immediate path of this thing, and get to something that has a little sturdier foundation to it. Something that's got a slab on it is obviously preferable, whether you have tie downs or not on your mobile home. Best to not try to ride a storm out in that. And obviously shoes are a necessity. Sometimes we forget that, especially if we're in a home and we're kind of lounging around. You forget about the fact that you need to have some shoes, closed-toed shoes preferably. And if you got a helmet, that's obviously good as well. So just a few things to kind of keep in mind as we as we keep tabs on this situation this afternoon. All right, back on here. Had Gina asking, did I miss something? Yeah, Gina, tornado warning for extreme southern, kind of south central sections of St. Augustine County, and so we have that, and also the folks in adjacent sections of northern Sabine County. The warning itself goes until 3:45. And that's the only storm we have in the area that would be looked to produce any kind of severe weather at all. Some storms back over into central southeastern sections of Angelina County, right there getting along Sam Rayburn at this point. Nothing Nacogdoches County. Shelby County, you guys, extreme southern parts of Shelby County, y'all are underneath severe thunderstorm warning for some peripheral stuff out of this main storm that is back to your south, but no tornado warning for Shelby County. The only two counties involved in that right now officially, St. Augustine and Shelby County. And here in the next few minutes, I would expect that Weather Service may go ahead and pull St. Augustine out of the warning itself, as the storm is right now crossing over into Sabine County from St. Augustine County. A lot of lightning production out of this thing as well, and so we've got that to deal with, along with what looks to be some pretty decent hail potential there near Ford's Corner, Geneva. This will be north of 183 for the best hail potential. The tornadic concerns are going to be right there along 103, I would think, and we're going to get that here east of 96. East of the 103-96 intersection here very shortly, and help to kind of push this thing a little bit further downstream. As far as what the velocity products are looking like right now, there's some of the better winds, looking at high 80s to near 90 mile an hour winds potential in that. A lot of this is pretty high up off the ground, so not all this is going to translate to the ground. But that is going to be, so this is south of 21, right there along 103. That'll be where if we have tornado, something going on, that's where I think we're gonna end up being at, right there along that Highway 103, at least for the moment. So keep an eye on that. Latest scan doesn't look quite as impressive with some of those values, so that's good. That is good. There's still some pretty good hail, though. Show you that real fast. That's what you're looking at right here, that Ford's Corner area between Ford's Corner and Geneva. If there's going to be hail and nickels to quarters in size, you'll see it in that area there. Usually your hail is going to be displaced to the north of where your best tornado potential will sit at in these kinds of storms. And so tornado potential along 103, better hail north of that line for now. But again, this passes well south of St. Augustine and will pass north of Hemp Hill. Yeah, Chrissy, most of it did. Most of it has, in fact, missed East Texas and most of the major population centers as well. So Tyler, Longview, even Lufkin, really, the showers are south of Lufkin. Nacogdoches, same. Back up to the north, not much going on, which is why we ran with the much lower rain chances today. This morning, and we were running with relatively low rain chances yesterday as well. It had looked like this thing was going to really crank up after it had after we got into the maximum after we got through lunch and further to the south and east of Tyler, Longview, and Jacksonville. So that has been good. Watching a lot of these individual storms trying to get going out south of Natchitoches. Another one there northeast of Natchitoches. There's that storm due east of Natchitoches. So these individual ones are the ones you're going to want to watch for, because they can start rotating on you fast in an environment like this. This guy near Winfield, that'll be something to watch. That one along 49. We'll get back into our neighborhood here. So the Weather Service has pulled Shelby County out of the severe thunderstorm warning. So that's not surprising. They were really kind of on the periphery of that anyway. So we're left with the tornado warning for extreme northeastern St. Augustine and most especially that most northern half of Sabine County. This again stays north of Hemphill. Best hail there. Definitely could be some quarters, maybe a little bit larger there along 21 west of Geneva. And then that goes run new scan, and that thing just travels off to the northeast. And so you got it up along 330 now. Best hail, north of Geneva. So this thing will not be long for it eases over the Texas-Louisiana border, which will be right in here. Heads over Toledo Bend and then we're over and into Louisiana. Got some other storms. You can see those red polygons there along 55 south side of Jackson. Another one north side of Jackson. Getting over into that higher risk area. Nothing Tyler Longview. Nothing really Shreveport. Nothing Lufkin. Nothing Nacogdoches. Just this one guy down here so far. Yep. Yeah. So got some pretty good wind in here. Be another area of circulation there. Back south of 21. Watch that as well. So a couple things to keep an eye on there. Let's get back to our regular reflectivity here. So 3:23, tornado warning officially for St. Augustine and Sabine counties until 3:45. Just kind of hang here and walk through this with you, folks down in that part of the region. So there's one guy here. Some decent showers there over northern part of Sam Rayburn. Just kind of a quick radar loop just to kind of show you how this thing has transpired over the last little bit. Everything really kind of got going down there over the northern part of Sam Rayburn. And that storm just continues moving northeast at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. But not a ton of additional development out ahead of it or behind it, for that matter, which is great. Make sure there's nothing else up north. Yeah, looks pretty quiet. So we'll hang here and watch this thing continue to kind of hopefully not cause too much more trouble. It's definitely some broad rotation in there, but thanks, Peter. I appreciate that, man. Gotta love Kenny. It's good days. So we're almost to 3:30. And that concerns for St. Augustine County are pretty much done there. So the Weather Service is going to come out with a new severe thunderstorm warning for this storm north side of Sabine County. I think they'll clip Shelby County in it as well. Yeah, that'll go to a 145. They're looking at the potential for a little bit smaller than golf balls, so quarter to golf ball sized hail there up near along Highway 87 there. I would expect quarters to potentially golf balls up in that area. Yeah, there's nothing, Irma, nothing close to Van Zandt County. You're fine there. We're just walking this through for our neighbors across Deep East Texas. So didn't mean to scare you, but yeah, that hail potential's gonna looks like north and south of 276 there. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some golf ball stones there, north side of FM 276. It's pretty good hail signature. They're going to hold off on any kind of tornado warning further downstream, which is good. Hasn't looked as the rotation hasn't looked as tight of late. There's definitely some pretty good wind in there. And even if there's not anything rotating in that, the wind component alone can still throw a pine tree down on your house and hurt you or kill you. So even without a tornado looking imminent, you still need to take a good assessment of what's going on and take those severe weather precautions, even if we don't have something that's verifiable from a tornadic perspective in this thing, because a lot of trees. It's a heavily wooded area out in this part of the region, and one thing I tell people, I do not like pine trees because they're really good about falling on houses and hurting folks. And I could see that being a problem in a situation like this as much as any other severe weather day, but especially down in this area where things are just so thick. So just do keep that in mind. Thanks, Carolyn. Appreciate that. Anderson County, Dorinda, you're fine. Nothing due in Anderson County, really any of the counties outside of Deep East Texas. That's the only reason why wanted to hop on here, was with that tornado warning that came out. But as you can see from the radar, it's pretty slim pickings back north and northwest. So hopefully that helps some. So this guy continues making some pretty good progress towards the state line. So the Weather Service has cleared St. Augustine County out of the warning. So that's good, as we thought that would do. They thought they would do that. And that's potential for rotation going to be there near Milam, which is along Highway 87. So if there is anything, it's going to be north of Hemp Hill. So if you guys at Hemp Hill are fine. May get some pretty good wind coming in on the backside of this, but other than that, that is it. So what we do have rotation wise is there. Near and be just a skosh northeast of Milam, and that is going to quickly be easing off to the northeast at about 40 to 45 miles an hour. Yeah, Dorinda, you got lots of pines where you're at too. I know we see a lot of them across this part of the country for sure. It's another little storm trying to get going back north of St. Augustine. Doesn't look like it has too much going with it, and then this additional shower back east of Lufkin, due south of Chirino. So we're at 333. We're going to walk this thing over the border, and then we'll step out of the way for you. But do want to keep these folks in the loop on what's happening. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it. So let's see. All that lightning concentrated in there, man. Taking a lot of lightning, a lot of hail in that. It's the only warning though in the area. So as you get northeast of Milam, whatever is there, if there is anything there, will be northeast of Milam. This thing may be trying to recycle some too. Looks a little bit a little bit more interesting than it did just a minute or two ago. So we'll watch that. There's Hemp Hill down to the south. So hopefully the folks have long since stepped off of Toledo Bend, at least the northern end of it. So there's that larger severe thunderstorm warning that will cover for especially this hail potential over into Louisiana. Nothing Tyler, nothing Longview. Hard to even find rain along I-20. A little bit of shower activity there trying to get out near Wascom. But nothing remotely, not even producing any lightning there. Showers, Panola, Shelby County line. Nothing big there. Center, you're A-OK. Nacogdoches, you're fine. Lufkin, you're fine. So we'll get this thing over and pretty quickly. There's a loop of the last, since about 2:45, kind of show you the progression of all this. So that is what we want to see. Hopefully no injuries and get this thing out of here and pray for the folks further downstream. It's going to be a busy late afternoon across northeastern Louisiana, much the northern half of Mississippi. Those areas are seen to really be especially primed for tornadoes and the just general severe weather as you get further to the east. So that's going to be where the real show sets up at. Will be further to the east of us. So that circulation doesn't look as impressive on radar as it has. Still has a decent looking appendage there, but doesn't look as impressive. The velocity numbers don't look as good, so that's a good sign. And it's also midway. Really, this is the state line right here that kind of runs up. So we've gotten the bulk of that over the state line. And our radar data coming in here is several minutes delayed in a lot of cases. That velocity data is about almost 4 minutes old now. So expect that to have moved further to the east, northeast than that might show based off the timestamp. So we're glad to see that. Got 80 here at the real estate office right now, just looking over. Man, we at least tied the record high today at Tyler. It goes back to 1949. 80 is the record for the day. I don't know if we got above 80 or not, but it looks like it, based on the observations at the airport, we at least made the record high for the day. Been a while since we've been that warm. So thankful for at least a little bit of warmth, and it was nice to get the rain and a little bit of the cool weather. I don't know if it's just, I know it's not just me because I've talked to a number of people, but the trees are just amazing this year. I haven't seen color like this in our area that I can recall. And you may be, you've probably seen some of the same things that I'm seeing. We were went up into Beavers Bend and up into southeast Oklahoma last week for Thanksgiving. Was just amazed by how pretty the colors were. But getting back down here, I think it's even prettier here than it was up in southeast Oklahoma. Just really, really great colors for our part of the country. And I don't know if it was I assume the cool snap that we had earlier on really kind of charged that and pushed that along where everything really kind of had to hit at once. But just a beautiful colored leaves right now. So hopefully you've had a chance to get out and enjoy some of that. We're losing a lot of the leaves with the wind. And, we're going to be breezy to windy once this front gets in here tonight. So that'll pull a lot of leaves off of the trees. So if you do want to get out and get some pictures of that stuff before they're gone, this might be the time to really focus on that, because I think we're going to lose a lot of leaves, as we would expect to do once we get the wind in here later on tonight with that cold front. But with severe weather about to wrap up, we'll do the same and be here to watch stuff as we need to throughout the afternoon and into the evening hours. But all in all, hopefully we dodged a bullet with this thing here. But hopefully we were at least able to give you some heads up on that for you guys and gals down in the deep East Texas area. I know it's hard to see. You have very limited visibility because of all the heavy trees and whatnot. A lot of people who chase storms across the country, they don't speak too highly of chasing storms down in East Texas. They call it chasing in the jungle, because there's just so limited as far as visibility goes. Because of all the trees and the hills and that type of thing. So it's a kind of tough environment for getting in and really putting eyes on stuff. But all the more important for us to be able to have people who can navigate that. And fortunately, we got a lot of this that's going to be happening. There has happened during the daylight hours, and the stuff that's going to happen to the east of us, a lot of it will happen during the daylight hours too. But we lose daylight awful early this time of year, so that will transition into a nighttime chase scenario over in Louisiana and Mississippi. So we definitely want to keep those folks in our prayers tonight as they head out and hopefully are able to alert some folks of coming danger. But for now, again, thanks for stopping by and being here with us. If you don't normally stop by my Facebook page, I would encourage you to do that. We put a forecast together for you every weekday morning between about 7 and 7:30. Thanks to my friends at Rose City Roofing for helping us out with that as well. And of course, when tornado warnings come out, we try to come in and keep you apprised of things day or night, and hopefully help you walk through this stuff a little bit more. A little bit less stressful than you would be maybe otherwise. But for now, we'll hang back and get you back to what you were doing. I'll get back into the rest of the business of real estate for the day. We will talk more as we need to. Thanks again for stopping by.
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.